I made this video so I can show you how I installed an ARB compressor under the back seat of my 2020 Pro4x Nissan Titan. If you have a Nissan Titan, you probably have a toolbox that looks similar to this. On the driver's side, this space, it's perfect to mount an ARB compressor, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, so I decided to install my ARB compressor in here. This is where more or less is going to be mounted in. I'm going to screw it in from the back, put it in here like this, and I'm going to drill a hole in this plastic so the harness can go into the hole into the air pressure switch. The relay is going to be underneath the plastic, and then this is the wire for the switch is going to run all the way to the dashboard, the front. And of course I'm going to have to lengthen this, both the ground and the power wire, the ground and the positive, that way it reaches all the way to the battery in the engine bay. Okay, so I went ahead and removed the toolbox from the back seat, and this is where the compressor is gonna go. Here, I just removed it so it can be easier for me to modify it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the doors right here. Both doors, I'm gonna remove them, that way it doesn't interfere or get in the way as I'm getting ready for the compressor. Okay, I went ahead and removed the doors to the toolbox, and this is basically what I'm left with, just the base, and so nothing but plastic. So I'm gonna start modifying it so I can run the hose from one side, from the driver's side, which is that side, and the passenger side, which is on this side. I'll show you in a bit. So when I install the compressor here, I'm gonna have to drill a hole here so I can run the hose into this side, and on this side I'm gonna go ahead and put a T that'll run the air to the driver's side and run also another air line all the way to the passenger side over there. So what I did is I already pre-marked where I'm gonna have my coupler at. As you can see right here, there's a little mark. It's right here. So this is where the coupler is gonna be at. But it's, for me to put the coupler, I need to put the bulkhead coupling here, the adapter. So I'll show you how it's done. I'm gonna drill a hole about this side so I can screw it in. Okay, so I went ahead and put the bulkhead fitting in there on this is the driver's side, and over there, as you can see, is the passenger side. So this where's the coupler is going to be at, right here. I'm going to put it in, but this is going to be the last part towards the end. I'm just going to this is just for showing you, but I'm going to work on the airline now. It's going to run from this side all the way to that side using a T-fitting. So this is the kind of T-fitting that I'm going to use to run the air from, it's going to run from the compressor that's going to be inside the toolbox to this, and then this one's going to distribute it to the passenger side and to the driver's side. And on the bulkhead fitting, I'm going to put this adapter here that's going to receive the air line through here. It's going to go through here, and then it's going to shoot out to the passenger side also, to the other one. So I got two of these. Okay, so I went ahead and installed the these fittings for the air hose for the airline, and on the passenger side also. Now the T is going to go somewhere, I'm guessing like around here. Oh shit, sorry. The T is going to go around here on this side, like this, but it's going to require a little bit of thinking because I need to figure out where exactly the compressor is gonna lay. So I'll get back with that. Okay, so I decided to fit the T somewhere in this area. I have to zip tie it because the compressor is gonna be over here. The compressor is gonna lay right here because I'm gonna cut a hole through here so I can run the wires for the pressure switch and the power. And I'm using this kind of airline, which is a pneumatic air tubing, 3/8 of an inch. And this airline is flexible, so I can run it from here, from the adapter, to this side, to where I'm gonna run a hole for the T fitting. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so I'm done installing the airline. As you can see, I put the T fitting right here. This hole right here is for the air hose, the airline that's gonna come from the compressor. It's gonna go there. Compressor is gonna be here. The airline is gonna go in here, and then it's gonna shoot. It's gonna distribute the air to the driver's side for the driver's side tires, and then it's gonna distribute air to the passenger side for the passenger side tires. Okay, there's the setup that I have going on. So this is where the ARB is going to be. It's going to lay. The pressure switch is not fully installed. I just put it into, I can know where exactly to compensate the space for the wiring. I'm going to drill a hole over here in this wall so the wires can come out for the power and for the switch. And the air hose, the air line, is going to go from this end into this end where the T fitting is at. It's going to look something like this. Okay, so I went ahead and installed the bracket. As you can see, I drilled the holes. It's all plastic, so it's fine. Install the bracket here. So this is where the compressor is going to sit. Okay, so I went ahead and put back the doors on the toolbox, and I went ahead and installed the air line that's going to go to the T coupling. So, and the bracket for the ARB. This is what I did in the under the toolbox. I went ahead and duct taped the wires. The relay is going to be back here with the airline. I zip tied, so that's going to be out of the way. And of course, on this side, that's where the pump is going to be at. There's the wiring for it. Now you probably noticed that the positive to the compressor is short because the fuse was like around right here. So obviously I need to cut it to lengthen it so we can reach the battery compartment in the engine bay. Okay, so I went ahead and removed the paneling, the door seals from both the front, the back, and the front. This is where I'm going to run the wire into the underneath the dash. I already went ahead and removed the button, or the slot where the compressor button is going to be at, the switch. See? And what I like about Nissan makes it so easy to install, like aftermarket stuff, because I mean the toolbox is gonna sit right here, and the carpet's already cut, so I can run the wires through the carpet. There's a lot of padding in the carpet all the way to this side. That goes all the way to the front. Okay, so I went ahead and lengthened the power cable. As you can see, 10 gauge of red power cable. This is the ground, and this is the one for the switches. I went ahead and ran it under the carpet. It's gonna come through here. The paneling, of course, is gonna be over here, and and it's running to the driver's side. And this is what I mean when I say Nissan makes it so easy for us to add toys on our trucks, because this white plastic just lifts up, so like it's like a box basically. So I'm running all the cables through here, under here, which is going to go into the firewall up there. I just need to, of course, lengthen the ground cable now. And there's a power cable. It's going to go up through the firewall and into the battery compartment. Now about the firewall, again, Nissan makes it easy for us to put shit on our trucks. I guess they know that we're gonna put shit on our trucks, so actually they okay, see this little grommet right here? It's already a hole in the firewall, pre-installed, I guess. What I have to do is remove the little grommet, and see, you can see daylight, which leads to the engine bay. Pretty good, pretty cool. Okay, I went ahead and lengthened the ground cable, and there goes the power cable, and it goes up into the firewall. Okay, I almost finished the wiring. As you can see, there's the ground and the power from the firewall. I'm gonna run it around. I still need to zip tie it and put a protector on it, but it's gonna run all the way to the battery. This is the ground, this is the power. Okay, for the wires that go to the fuse box for the illumination and the ignition power, I ran the wires under there through the little heated seat knobs into the to the back of the I removed the glove box. Might as well change the air cabin filter, as I'm already here, and I went ahead and tapped into the ignition 10 amp and illumination 5 amp. Okay, I went ahead and pulled the dash part down so I can get to this button that I took off yesterday. I had already taken it off yesterday, but I pulled it off again so I can tie the harness to the switch. And the switch, surprisingly enough, fits perfectly in here. Oh, let me put it up. Okay, I was wrong about the switch. It doesn't fit perfectly. Well, actually it does, but once it's seated all the way back, it's not gonna switch on, because this little, or this lip over here on top doesn't let it. So it sits perfectly, but when you turn it on, this lip is not gonna let it turn on. It's just gonna keep it on the off position. Oh, sorry. So I'll figure out something. Maybe I'll just leave it like that. I mean, it doesn't really does any harm to leave it like that, but I don't know. But I'm gonna leave that for last. Now I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna sort of like sit it here, not fully bolted, just sit it here. I don't know if you all noticed, but when I made the hole here, I just made a small hole, just enough to fit the wires for the pressure switch, and I removed this clip. which makes it a lot easier for me to fish through the hole, smaller. This one connects right here. Okay, so let me see. Ignition is on. Oh shit, let me turn it on, of course. There it is. So I finished the wiring over here in the engine bay. As you can see, the wire, actually the wires right here, both the negative and the positive, run that way towards the battery. And I went ahead and zip tied. Actually, I zip tied it to the wiring harness that's already there, the factory wiring harness that goes all the way to the battery. Over here, and the fuse is right here. I went ahead and installed the ground up against the frame, and the positive to the battery. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the way it came out. And here goes the this thing. And that's it. You can't even see the wiring. Now I'm gonna cut the hose to size to fit this. I left it intentionally a little longer, that way I can measure exactly how much I need and cut it and put it in. Okay, it's all set up. I just need to put the air line, cut it to size, and insert it into the adapter. That's all I need. Everything's already mounted. I did run into a little snag in on the bracket. The screws that screwed the bracket to the toolbox were a little too long, so it wouldn't let the compressor sit properly, so I couldn't screw it on the compressor into the bracket. So I had to improvise. I had to remove the screws that were mounting the bracket to the toolbox, put some spacers at the bottom, that way the screw doesn't stick out as much, and let the compressor sit in properly. But it just delayed the process a little bit, but no, it was no big deal. But everything's already installed. I just need the gas, I keep saying gas, the airline. Okay, so there it is, fully installed. It's already on. You can lock it up. There's enough space for you to mount it, and there's no leaks because it stopped. These compressors, when they reach 100 psi, they stopped, so that way they don't over pressurize. I'm gonna use this just to airing up your tires. It's gonna keep working. Once you stop, it reaches 100 psi. I already installed the coupler. And on the passenger side also. There's another coupler there. Air the tires. toolbox. And the reason why I liked this toolbox is if I ever take the truck to maintenance and leave it at the dealership, I can always unplug it and lock it up. That way they don't mess around with it. And of course, I know some people have told me it gets hot, it needs air to breathe. Well, it's got plenty of air here, and of course I'm not gonna have anybody sitting on it while I'm airing the tires. I'm usually gonna lift the seat up and lift the lid up and air it up like that. I'm pretty sure, I mean, this is way better than I put it in the engine bay where there's dirt and the heat from the motor. I think this should be better and make it last a long time. Okay, so I went ahead and deflated the tires to 18 psi. Well, 18, and 20. But I'm gonna air them out, see how fast I can do it. The air compressor is already on and is ready to go. Okay, there it is. I was actually shooting for 35 psi, but it got me 33 each. I guess the gauge is a couple of psi's off, but there it is. I mean, some people in the group was saying, yeah, it's gonna get loud, but I mean, it's loud, it's a compressor, but I'm not gonna lose an eardrum over it. As far as hot, yeah, it's hot, but I don't think it's gonna melt anything in here. And I can just close it until it cools off. I mean, I just aired up my stock tires. I don't have any big tires. It's just stock tires, and it took me about roughly 2 minutes an average per tire, which is pretty good because I mean, I also took time to disconnect the driver's side all the way to the passenger side and air up these other ones. So overall, I'm satisfied with the install on this. Okay, I had forgotten about this feature. I went ahead and aired up my tires a little bit more, and actually the truck honks when it reaches 35 psi. I had forgotten about the feature. I was just going by the gauge. The gauge showed 35, but actually it was giving me like 33. So I went to air it up a couple of psi more, and I noticed it honked. So I had forgotten about that feature also.